Hello, new teachers. My name is Mr. Manzel, and what I'm here to do today, I'm going to show you and walk you through a small mini math lesson and how you can apply different strategies to help your English learners be successful in your classroom. Now, these are instructional strategies that I've been using in my classroom and has been effective to help my English learners learn how to apply math in their life, but also become successful math learners in our classroom. So, the way I usually teach math first, I engage my students, whether it's applying different color coded words on the board. That way, the colors pop out to them and know that, hey, these are the things that you English learners and other students will learn for this lesson. So for this lesson, we are going to talk about and learn about combining like terms. So combining like terms is an important math strategy that students need to know in order to become successful in algebra. So what I have here on the board, I have the standard, which is a sixth grade standard. So it's sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade math. Math continues on, but for this lesson, they're going to apply the properties of operation to generate equivalent expression. And what I also do, I also apply the Spanish version because in my classroom, I have 60%, 70% of Hispanic students that come from different parts of the world, which is either Mexico, Puerto Rico, Argentina, El Salvador, Spain, even, etc. Just because a lot of families and students come from the military background, so we get a lot of students from different parts of the world, including majority of the Hispanic countries. But I do apply the Spanish translation, which helps my students understand that are still learning English what they're going to learn for the lesson, right? Which is, if I could say real quickly, aplicar las propiedades de las operaciones para generar expresiones equivalentes. So, there, nice, fluent, telling my students what they're going to do, and then I also tell them in English. That way, they can learn and practice the English language. So, apply the properties of operation to generate equivalent expressions. As we go on to this lesson, before I teach anything about any math skills, I like including vocabulary, academic vocabulary, or important vocabulary for students to know. So as I'm teaching vocabulary to my English learners, I color code again the academic vocabulary and the definition. That way they know which is which, and they can determine how to study the vocabulary and the definition as we go on into this lesson. So what I technically do with my students, I first read the definition and the vocabulary word in English, then I say it in Spanish, but I have my students follow after I say it, and we do choral repetition. For me, choral repetition is a very important differentiation and scaffolding strategy. That way, my English learners know what is expected and what I want them to learn. So first, I'll go with this. All right, students, today we're going to learn important academic vocabulary for combining like terms lesson. So these are the vocabulary words that we are going to learn. And first I'm going to say the word and the definition in English. Then I'm going to go ahead and say it in Spanish. And then I want you guys to repeat the vocabulary words about 5 times with me, okay? So here we are. First letter or first academic vocabulary is combine, which means unite or merge. Second one is like terms, same variable, x and y. Next one is addition, combine two numbers. Next vocabulary a word is subtraction, taking away another amount. Next is negative, less than zero, sorry, and positive, which is greater than 0. Then I go ahead and say it in Spanish to my students that are English learners. Okay, now I'm gonna say it in Spanish. Ahora lo voy a hacer en español. Alright, here we go. Combinado significa unir, fusionar. Okay. El próximo término es términos similares, que significa misma variable o variable. El siguiente es sumar, combinando dos números. El siguiente es sustitución, quitando otra cantidad. El siguiente término es negativo, menos que 0. Y la última término es positiva, que es más grande que 0. Okay. Then I tell my students, all right, class, do you have any questions? Do you need more clarification? Do you need more examples? If they need an example of me how to say it, of course I will say it. That way they understand what I'm saying and what they need to learn. But if they don't, then I go ahead and begin the choral repetition strategy. All right. So I would tell my students, all right, class, now I want you to repeat first the vocabulary word with me, and then we'll go on to the definition. Okay. All right, class, here we go. First word, combine. Then they'll say it. Next word, like terms. Next word, addition. Next word, subtraction. Next word is negative. Next word, positive. Okay, and then we go through that process again 2 or 3 more times. Then after doing that a couple times, then I have them doing it in Spanish for my English learners. Okay, now we're gonna say it in Spanish. Ahora la vamos a hacer en español. Ready? Here we go. Combinado. They'll go say it again. Términos similares. And they'll say it after me. Sumar. Sustitución. Negativo. Positiva. And so on. So we do choral repetition. Takes us about 5 minutes. Nothing fancy, nothing hard. But it's a great strategy for them to know that way they memorize the vocabulary as we go into the lesson. So as I get to the lesson, for example, if I'm going to teach how to combine like terms, how would I do that? So we could do, all right, class, now we're going to learn how to use the vocabulary words into math skills. So if I want to do 5x plus 6x, I would tell my students, all right, students, what do we do with 5 and 6? I'll pick on a student. If it's an English learner, I'll be like, okay. And with my English students, with math, I would do this. Okay. Put up my hands to show them visually what I'm doing. You have 5, and on my other hand, I'll pretend this is 5 and 6. Both hands, right? What are we gonna do? ¿Qué vamos a hacer? 5, 5 con 6, 6. As I'm showing them, they will start thinking on how to do it, and then it will tell me the answer. If they say 11, then we do 11. Then I'll tell them, okay, what do we do with x? ¿Qué hacemos con x? And then they go back to the vocabulary. They will say addition, and we'll add the variable together. And that's what we'll do. Now, if I want to step it up further and show my students what to do Visually, besides using my hands, I would use some kind of manipulative. So if I have, let's see, 2x plus, let's see, 3x. Okay, my math manipulatives. Like, all right, class, what do I do next? And I'll tell them, all right, we have 3 glasses plus 2. And then they'll tell me the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. That's what I would tell my students. Math manipulatives are very essential for math learners, as it shows them visually of what's going on with the math problem. These are great strategies that I like to use in my classroom. And then I like to use the turn and talk strategy with them. If after a few problems, I'll tell them, hey class, do you guys understand what is going on? Or if I give them a hard problem, like 120x plus 56x, as an example, if they don't know it, I will tell my students, all right class, go ahead and talk to your neighbor and collaborate and use your critical thinking skills of how you will solve this problem. I'll give them a couple minutes. And same thing to my English learners. I'll tell them slowly, visually, how do I add 120, or how do I do 120x plus 56x? Or since I'm an English speaker, I would tell them, okay, okay, clase, ¿cómo resolvamos este problema? Right? Or I could also use text to speech to help them. My English and Spanish get mixed up sometimes, so I would use if I'm explaining the objective or the standard, I would use text to speech to form my students on to reiterate what they're doing with the lesson and what are they expected in class. And I have it set up here. Text to speech.
Aplicar las propiedades de las operaciones para generar expresiones equivalentes.
So, I use text to speech a lot for my English learners. That way, they understand how what they're doing in class, and also I could also say it to them in English. Okay, class, you guys are going to apply the properties of operations to generate equivalent expressions. These are great strategies that I use in my classroom. And then usually with my vocabulary, I will print out a teacher copy in both English and Spanish for my English learners and for the rest of my class. But also it helps my English learners to learn how to speak English, but also how to apply it with their native language. And if I'm giving a formal assessment, like I could add a couple problems. One, if I'm doing positive, maybe 5x plus negative 15x, just to make it interesting. 10x plus 20x, and then I'll have my students after explaining the lesson, I'll tell, all right class, I want you guys to do these 3 problems in the next 10 minutes. Work with your neighbors, collaborate, and we will meet after 10 minutes and discuss the solutions for these problems. So collaboration is important for English learners, as they get to learn from different peers and learn different strategies and how to solve these problems in Spanish and English. So that's my lesson. Thank you, everyone. I hope you guys learned something new, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.